Have you ever packed your bags for a long-awaited vacation, feeling excited, maybe even a little nostalgic, only to realize a few days in that you're more exhausted than relaxed? Maybe your legs ache more than they used to after a short flight, or your energy seems to disappear halfway through a tour. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're certainly not imagining it. Traveling after 70 is a gift, no doubt about it. But it also comes with a few quiet risks that no one really talks about. Until now. Hi there, it's good to have you here. If you're watching this, I know one thing for sure, you still have a thirst for adventure. You're curious, you love new experiences, and you're not ready to slow down just yet, and that's a beautiful thing. But the truth is, once we pass a certain age, our bodies, our minds, even our immune systems play by a different set of rules. And if we don't know those rules, we end up paying for it with fatigue, stress, or even health scares while we're supposed to be enjoying ourselves. That's why today, we're diving into something many seniors overlook, the hidden dangers of traveling after 70. Not to scare you, but to empower you. Once you know what to look out for, you can plan smarter, feel stronger, and actually enjoy your travels the way you're meant to. So let's get right into it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever stepped off a plane, maybe after a couple of hours in the air, and felt completely disoriented? Not just tired, but a little foggy, maybe even dizzy or confused. This brings us to the first hidden danger, and that's dehydration and medication interaction. Now, we all know hydration is important. We've heard it 100 times. But when you're over 70, the stakes are different. As we age, our bodies become less sensitive to thirst. That means even if you don't feel thirsty, you might already be low on fluids. Add in the dry cabin air on airplanes, which is notorious for sapping moisture from your body, and you've got a recipe for trouble. Here's where it gets tricky. Many seniors are on medications, blood pressure pills, diuretics, heart meds, you name it. Some of these increase urination, others affect how your body holds onto fluids. Put those together with mild dehydration, and you may start feeling lightheaded, confused, or even develop an irregular heartbeat. Not ideal when you're halfway to another country. But the good news? This is totally manageable. One simple tip, bring a reusable water bottle and use it. Don't wait until you're parched, sip throughout the day, especially while flying. Also, talk with your doctor before any major trip. Ask them if your medications are travel-friendly or if you need to adjust dosages based on climate or altitude. It's a small step, but it can save you from major discomfort or even a trip to the ER abroad. Now, let's talk about something else that sneaks up quietly, mobility and circulation risks. It's easy to assume that sitting for a few hours on a bus or plane is no big deal. But once you're in your 70s, long periods of sitting, especially without moving your legs, can actually lead to more than just stiffness. One of the real risks is something called deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. It's a fancy term for a blood clot that can form in your legs when blood flow slows down. And the kicker? It's more common than people think, especially for older adults who aren't moving around much during travel. Now imagine this, you're enjoying a scenic train ride through the mountains of Switzerland. Beautiful, right? But you haven't stood up in 3 hours. Your legs feel heavy, maybe a little swollen by the time you arrive. That's your body trying to tell you something. DVT is dangerous because if a clot travels to the lungs, it can become life-threatening. Again, there's a solution. Every hour or so during long travel times, stand up, stretch, walk a little, even just a few steps. Flex your ankles, roll your feet, or do simple seated leg lifts. Compression socks can also be a lifesaver. They're not glamorous, but they can help improve circulation and reduce swelling, especially on flights or bus tours. And here's a helpful tip that most people forget, book an aisle seat whenever you can. It makes standing up and moving around a lot easier without disturbing others. And when you're on a road trip, pull over, get out, and walk around. Think of it like stretching your car legs, and your life depends on it. Now, we've talked about physical health, but there's another layer to this conversation that many people ignore, and that's emotional overstimulation and fatigue. Travel can be exciting, yes. But it can also be overwhelming. Think about it: new places, new people, unfamiliar routines, loud environments. While that kind of sensory input can feel thrilling in your younger years, after 70, it can actually drain you more than you expect. Your brain is processing so much more than it used to. And the result? You might find yourself feeling irritable, scattered, or just plain exhausted, especially by the second or third day of your trip. I've heard many seniors say things like, "I love traveling, but I just can't handle those packed itineraries anymore." And they're right to slow things down. You don't have to do everything in one trip. You don't have to walk 5 miles a day just because everyone else in the tour group is doing it. Give yourself permission to rest, truly rest. Schedule downtime into your trip the way you would schedule a tour or a museum visit. Sometimes the best part of traveling is just sitting in a quiet cafe, sipping a cup of something warm, and watching the world go by. Also, think about who you're traveling with. Are they rushing through every stop? Are they go from morning to night? That kind of pace might have worked in your 40s or 50s, but now it can leave you feeling depleted and even anxious. There's nothing wrong with saying, "You go ahead, I'm going to take this one slow." Planning travel after 70 is as much about how you go as where you go. Your well-being deserves to come first, not last on the list after everyone else's expectations. Now that we've touched on the physical toll travel can take and how it affects your energy and circulation, let's explore something else that's just as important, but a little harder to spot when you're in the moment. Watching and feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. And that's the emotional strain of unexpected changes. Now, I know, travel is supposed to be unpredictable. That's part of the magic, right? The little surprises, the twists and turns, the stories that you tell for years afterward. But after 70, that same unpredictability can become something else entirely. It can turn into stress, real, physical stress, that affects everything from your sleep to your digestion to your immune system. Let's say your flight gets delayed. Again. You're stuck in a noisy airport, the announcements are muffled, your phone battery is low, and there's no one around to help. 20 years ago, this might have been a mild annoyance. But now, it's draining. It can spike your blood pressure, throw off your meal schedule, and leave you completely rattled for the rest of the day. This is what I mean by emotional strain, and most people don't see it coming until they are in the thick of it. But here's the good news: you can plan for the unpredictable. It just takes a little shift in mindset. First, build in buffer time. Don't plan tight connections or jam-packed schedules. Give yourself space between activities, not just for physical rest, but for mental recovery. If a delay happens, you'll already have time built in, and that makes a world of difference. You'll stay calmer, more flexible, and a whole lot healthier. Also, carry a few comfort items in your bag. Something that grounds you. A crossword book. Your favorite snack. A playlist of music you love. Even a small, familiar object, like a photo or scarf, can offer emotional grounding when things feel a little chaotic. And never underestimate the power of a good book or a lighthearted movie downloaded to your tablet. They can turn hours of stress into moments of calm. Now, let's talk about something that most travelers don't even realize they're dealing with until it's too late: nutritional neglect and digestive trouble. When you're on the road, or in the air, your normal routines tend to go out the window. You eat what's available, not necessarily what's right for your body. And let's be honest, airport food and hotel buffets aren't exactly known for their digestive friendliness. If you've ever found yourself bloated, constipated, or even just sluggish while traveling, you're not imagining it. As we age, our digestion becomes more sensitive. Our bodies don't process heavy or processed foods as easily as they once did. And when you combine that with time zone changes, odd meal times, and unfamiliar ingredients, your system can get completely thrown off. You might go a day or two without a bowel movement and think, it'll pass. But that kind of irregularity can make you feel tired, irritable, even nauseous, and that's not how you want to spend your trip. So what's the fix? It's easier than you think. First, start your day with fiber. Even when you're on vacation, pack a few small packets of fiber powder or bring along your favorite high-fiber snack bars. Just don't wait until you're already uncomfortable. Make it part of your daily routine, no matter where you are. Second, drink water. We already talked about hydration earlier, but it bears repeating here because it plays such a big role in digestion. Aim to sip throughout the day, not just at meals. And try to avoid too much alcohol or caffeine, especially if you're not eating enough fiber to balance it out. Also, don't be afraid to say no to foods that don't sit well with you. You don't have to try every exotic dish or finish every plate. Listen to your body. It'll tell you what works and what doesn't. And if you know certain foods upset your stomach, like fried meals or heavy sauces, plan ahead. Ask for substitutions. There's no shame in taking care of yourself. I once met a woman on a cruise who packed her own small bag of snacks, dried fruit, almonds, even instant oatmeal packets. At first, everyone laughed. But a few days in, while others were dealing with sluggish digestion or stomach cramps, she was feeling great and enjoying every minute. That's not luck. That's preparation. And speaking of cruises, tours, or even long road trips, there's one more danger we need to talk about today, and it's something that many seniors don't even realize is creeping up on them while they're busy having fun. It's the risk of falling or injury in unfamiliar environments. Now, this one can be especially frustrating. You may be active. You may feel strong. You may walk every day, climb stairs without issue, and feel confident in your balance. But when you travel, the landscape changes. Literally. The sidewalks are different. The curbs are higher. The hotel floors may be slicker than you're used to. The bathroom lighting is unfamiliar. And your body, even if it's healthy, takes longer to react to quick changes, like a sudden dip in the pavement or an uneven stone walkway. Falls are one of the biggest risks for older adults while traveling. And even a small fall can turn a dream vacation into a painful memory, broken bones, sprained wrists, or worse. But here's the thing, this isn't about fear. It's about smart preparation. The kind that empowers you, not limits you. First, bring the right shoes. Not new shoes, trusted ones. Ones with good grip, proper support, and no surprise pressure points. This isn't the time to try out that stylish new pair you haven't broken in yet. Trust me, your feet will thank you. Second, if you use a cane or walker at home, even occasionally, bring it. Don't leave it behind out of pride. No one is judging you. In fact, people are usually incredibly respectful when they see someone taking their safety seriously. And if you don't use one regularly but feel more tired than usual during long walks, consider a collapsible walking stick. It's light, easy to pack, and can help with balance on uneven terrain. And don't forget about hotel rooms. When you arrive, do a quick scan. Are there rugs that could slide underfoot? Is the bathroom lighting poor at night? If so, use the flashlight on your phone to guide you during night trips, or better yet, pack a small travel night light. It sounds small, but it can prevent a major injury. One gentleman I spoke to, a retired teacher, told me he now travels with a small roll of painter's tape. Why? Because he tapes down the edges of throw rugs in hotel rooms. Just a few pieces of tape, and no tripping hazards. Brilliant, right? It's these little habits, these small precautions, that add up to a much safer and more enjoyable trip. Because the truth is, you can still explore, still discover, still wander, just with a little more wisdom and a lot more self-care. Let's keep going. There's one more danger to be aware of before you pack your bags. And this one? It's not about your body, it's about something far deeper. And it has to do with something we often avoid talking about, especially when everyone expects us to be happy, adventurous, and carefree while we travel. But it's real, and it deserves just as much attention as any physical concern. I'm talking about loneliness and emotional disconnection, even when you're surrounded by people. Now, at first glance, this might sound surprising. After all, travel is usually a time of excitement, discovery, and shared experiences. But for many seniors, especially those traveling alone or in unfamiliar company, the experience can also feel isolating in ways others might not see. You're in a new place, surrounded by crowds, foreign languages, fast-paced groups, and sometimes that can leave you feeling invisible. Out of step. Like you're watching the experience rather than being part of it. This hidden danger often creeps in quietly. It might show up when you're dining alone at a busy restaurant, or when your tour group is too rushed to let you ask questions. It might even show up when you're traveling with younger family members who mean well, but don't quite understand your pace or your needs. And the hardest part? You may not even realize it's affecting you until you start to feel a little sad, a little tired, or like you wish you were just back home where things felt more familiar. But here's the beautiful truth: connection is something you can plan for, just like packing your suitcase or booking your hotel. And you don't need a big group or a lifelong partner to feel connected while you travel. You just need to be intentional about it. One way to start is to build in moments that allow for real conversation and reflection. If you're traveling with others, make time to sit down at the end of the day and actually talk, not just about what you saw, but how it felt. What moved you? What surprised you? These little moments can bring a whole new level of depth to the experience and keep you feeling emotionally present and connected. If you're traveling alone, consider keeping a small journal. Not just to jot down where you went, but to write about what made you smile that day. Who you met. What memory it stirred up. It's not about writing a masterpiece, it's about staying grounded in your experience and reminding yourself that your voice matters, even if you're far from home. Another thing that helps? Learning just a few simple phrases in the local language. Even just hello, thank you, or how are you, can spark a smile or a moment of shared laughter. People respond to kindness and effort, no matter where you are in the world. And those small interactions, those are often the ones you remember most. One woman I spoke to, a widow in her early 70s, shared a story from a trip to Italy. She had been feeling lonely during the first few days, surrounded by couples and families, feeling like she didn't quite belong. But one evening, she wandered into a little cafe and struck up a conversation with the owner, using the few Italian words she had practiced on the plane. They ended up chatting for over an hour, with hand gestures, smiles, and lots of laughter. She said it changed the entire tone of her trip. And she went back to that cafe every day after that, not just for the coffee, but for the connection. That's the thing about travel in our later years, it has the power to open us up in ways we don't always expect. But we have to meet it halfway. And that means being honest with ourselves about how we're really feeling. Tired? Rest. Lonely? Reach out. Overwhelmed? Step back. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of wisdom. Of knowing yourself and honoring your limits, not out of fear, but out of care. And if I can leave you with one thought today, it's this: your best trips don't have to be your fastest, your busiest, or your most adventurous. They just have to feel good to you. That's the real magic of traveling after 70. You get to design your experience around what matters most: comfort, connection, joy, and health. So let's take a moment to reflect. We've talked about the quiet ways travel can impact our well-being, how dehydration can sneak up on us, how our circulation slows when we sit too long, how our emotions react to unexpected stress, how our digestion needs a little extra care, and how loneliness can sometimes shadow even the most beautiful places. These aren't reasons to stop traveling. Not at all. They're reminders to travel smarter, more intentionally, and more compassionately toward yourself. Because the more you understand your body and your mind, the more joy you'll get out of each experience, whether it's a weekend road trip or a once-in-a-lifetime cruise. And the truth is, small changes can make all the difference. Wearing the right shoes, staying hydrated, building in rest days, asking for help when you need it, these are not limitations. These are tools that help you continue doing what you love, with fewer interruptions and more peace of mind. So wherever your next journey takes you, whether it's across the ocean or just a few towns away, go into it with confidence. You've earned the right to explore the world on your own terms. You've gathered a lifetime of wisdom. Now it's time to travel with it. If this video helped you feel more prepared, or even just more sane, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. What's one tip you've learned from your own travels? Or one challenge you've faced that others could learn from? We're all in this together, and your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you found this helpful, give this video a like. It really helps more seniors find this kind of content. And don't forget to subscribe for more down-to-earth tips on healthy aging, smart travel, and living your best life at every stage. You're not too old. You're not behind. You're right on time, and the world is still waiting for you. So pack smart. Travel safe. And remember, it's never too late to discover something new, not just out there in the world, but within yourself, too.